Slender Man is arguably the most well-known of the creepypasta monsters, breaking through the wall of cult following into the mainstream rivers of the internet.
You're listening to Sports Radio Detroit.
Hello and welcome to Grave Discussions.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
That was
Samael, and that was
Barnabas.
And we are
Grave Discussions, and welcome back. We are here with episode number 24.
Yes, it's already, we're in the 20s, bro.
Yeah, almost at a quarter of 100, bro. Like that's crazy.
And for every 10 episode mark, I don't know if you guys noticed, because you only did it twice, but we do something special every 10 episodes. The last time it was Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
And 6 more episodes, and you'll see what we got planned for our 30th, because we don't even know yet.
Yeah, we don't even know, but it's going to be good. I mean, we got October coming up.
I'm so fucking excited,
Yeah,
bro. Like, my most favorite fucking time of the year.
Mine too.
As soon as, like, the middle of September hits, the leaves start falling.
Yes.
The fucking Halloween shit starts
You can
appearing
wear-
in every store.
You can wear, like, actual good clothes, like hoodies and sweaters and shit.
Yeah, I don't have to wear these, like,
Yeah.
weirdly, like, tight fucking short sleeves and
Yeah.
shit. I can just throw on a hoodie and...
Yeah. Call it a day.
For real.
Just watch some horror.
I love
So
it.
we're excited for that. We've got something really cool also planned that's Halloween related. That should be coming up sometime in September. I don't want to get too into it, but it's going to be very, very cool. Today, though, we're going to be focusing, as you may have heard, on Slender Man, which just released.
Yes, we went, we saw that last weekend, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll touch upon it. It's kind of iffy for me. I don't know, like... Once I explain everything and I start talking about it, I'll understand how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I mean, I have, my opinions about it and stuff, but yeah, we have to just talk about it because...
Yeah, it was one of the more highly anticipated horror films of the year, so...
Yeah.
Also, The Nun and Halloween coming out, and...
I'm really excited for The Nun.
You
yeah.
already know what we're gonna do.
Oh, yeah. Definitely expect an episode on that movie once it comes out. I think it's about 2 weeks out now. So I'm pretty pumped about it. We have, as always, our Cult Corner and Chopping Block segments today, too, with some good movies for you guys. Yes, but of course, we're going to start off with the news right now. And the first one is concerning a childhood favorite, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And this bit of news about Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is about a new movie coming out based on the book series. And it's going to be produced by none other than Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, we heard about this, like, I think months ago when we, like, first started podcasting, and the time is drawing nigh. Everyone's talking about this on the Facebook groups and stuff, the horror groups, and people keep bringing it up, and we've heard about it for a while. It's nothing new to us, but I've been highly anticipating this because growing up with these series, like, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, now we finally have, like, a more serious tone like series, so hopefully it, like, lives up to what Del Toro's, like, previous work.
Yeah, I mean, he as a filmmaker I have the utmost respect for, and he's so creative and story driven, and I think that that's what the movie needs. But visually he's incredible as well, and visuals for, like, this particular series are the most important things, because the stories are pretty good, but let's be honest, like, as kids when we were reading it, what's, like, the thing about this series that freaked you out the most?
The monster.
Yeah, well, the fucking, like, pictures, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they were so creepy.
I wasn't too into, like, the story or any of that. I just wanted to see something fucking scary.
Yeah, and everything was, because it was done in this, like, I don't even know what to call this art style, but it's just this really, like, blotchy, inky, and it's not, like, composed, kind of. It's very, like, raw and crazy, and and when it showed, like, depicted all these, like, monsters and even people that were, like, disfigured and distorted and shit, like, it was I don't know, man. As a kid, I was terrified of it, but I loved it. I think that this like book series and Goosebumps are like what catapulted me into loving horror, as you know, is the case for a lot of people. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. The thing about this though is that like, you know, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is a bunch of short stories, but this is going to be one actual movie with like one whole like continuous plot line in the movie. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. It's supposed to be following a group of young teens who have to solve a mystery surrounding a bunch of like weird macabre deaths in their small town. So I already kind of like it because there's this mystery, which we were talking about, is missing in a lot of horror movies, and it's a small town kind of movie, you know, like It, or like really any Stephen King thing and shit like that. So I'm kind of excited. I don't know how I feel about it, you know, shying away from like the anthology kind of focus of like the books. But I mean, I don't know. It sounds like a cool movie. Del Toro's on it, and he has an excellent vision. And the director is none other than Andre Overdahl, who is the filmmaker behind Troll Hunter and The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh shit!
So you already know I think it's going to be a great movie just because like he's on it.
Jane Doe.
Yeah, you remember that one, right? That was a great movie.
Did we watch that together?
Yeah. I brought it over.
The Witch, right?
Yep.
Okay. I was wondering.
That was a great movie.
That was amazing. Wasn't that shortly after my injury, and we just randomly picked up the
I think so, yeah.
movie from FYE?
Yeah, because I heard about it, and then I brought it over, and I was like, oh, dude, I heard like a lot of good things about this movie.
Dude, that, and like, I remember, what else was there? That and the Hills Run Red were two. One day we'll talk about that. Yeah,
we have to, because I really like that movie a lot. But, yeah, so stay tuned for like more information on the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. The whole news behind it really was that it's going to begin shooting this week, and this is actually from a little while ago, so it may have already started shooting. So I imagine sometime, you know, within the first few months of 2019, we might see this movie come out.
Yeah,
possibly longer, maybe summer, but
I'm super excited about this because Guillermo del Toro never let anybody down.
Yeah, I love like all his movies. They're all like super unique.
And as long as he has like some sort of affiliation with this, it would be different if they were just taking his ideas and just running with them. But he's involved, you know, so I think that's what makes it better. I think what made like Rob Zombie's Halloween shitty is Carpenter wasn't involved. You know? At least for Rick Rosenthal's sequel, Halloween 2 and 81, like Carpenter, you know, added the whole Laurie's the sister. So sometimes, man, this shit just it works, and sometimes it doesn't if the creator isn't.
It's really hard. It's really hard to like repurpose other people's stories. If they're not involved, especially, and just kind of in general too, you know.
Yeah, but whoever dealt with Stephen King's, they all did a good job always. So I think it's just like I don't think you could make anything shitty out of his stories. That's why. So
well, there is that, but he's also been pretty much involved on like a lot, if not all of his, you know, adapted projects too. So there is that. But I don't know. I'm excited about it. Be on the lookout for that one, and if we have more news, we'll let you guys know about it. Speaking of which, here's something that we pretty recently touched upon, which is Scream, the TV series. We finally got some new news, thank God, because I've been waiting on it.
Yeah, I started, actually, honestly, last week, I watched the whole first season again,
nice.
and I caught up I'm on like the first or second episode of the second season. I didn't keep going. Yeah, but I just wanted to like get a refresher because, you know, I heard they might be catapulting this in like a new direction. So
yeah, that's the plan, I guess. And this bit of news actually I think kind of serves to confirm that almost. But MTV announcing Mary J. Blige added to the cast for Scream Season 3, which is kind of interesting. I mean, I think she's a pretty good actress. I don't remember all that she's been. I know she's been in some stuff, I think, but I don't know. But she has just been added, so I mean, there's a good chance we might see something soon from this show. Unfortunately, there's not really a ton of other news based on like when it's coming out, if it's coming out. But I mean, this kind of, you know, confirms it almost that it's going to be coming out, but we just don't know like when, you know. But
oh wow, Keke Palmer is going to be on this too.
Yeah, Keke Palmer, Tyler Posey from Teen Wolf.
Tyga?
Yeah, Tyga. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like some of this cast is kind of weird. I mean, they're the casting for like seasons 1 and 2 was kind of weird too, but it wasn't like Tyga and Mary J. Blige.
Now it's going to be executive produced by Queen Latifah.
Yeah, so I mean, it
looks weird. I don't know why all of a sudden changes.
I think I'm excited for it just because like Wes Craven, was still on it. And
Mary J. Blige is awesome. She's probably going to be like the hero who dies near the end of the season or something.
Yeah.
Like probably the killer's, like she's probably like the main target or something.
Mm-hmm.
Not the main target, or she's like one of the adults that knows what's going on or some shit.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me.
I think she's supposed to play like the mom of one of the characters, which is fine.
She's gonna have like a super headstrong role because she always does.
I think so. Yeah.
She's always super involved in like every movie and every show.
Yeah, it's just kind of like how she is as a person.
That's what I like though, because like you shouldn't have like a super fucking talented actress and have her just be like a minor character. Like
definitely not.
Like the quiet mother of one of the kids that's getting killed.
Yeah.
So hopefully she's like super involved. I'd really like that.
I think so, because I mean, even like Sissy Spacek on Castle Rock, which we didn't talk like a ton about her on that show, but I was a little concerned that she was gonna have like a sideline role kind of in the show, but she really doesn't. She's like pretty integral to the plot of the show, I guess, and she's a fantastic actress, obviously. So so I'm pretty excited about this news. Once we know a little bit more about the production and the release of season 3, we'll let you guys know. But this is good news because they're finally acknowledging the show, and it's basically confirming that it's on, and they're going to release it at some point, so we'll see. But the last bit of news here is about also another horror television show, and ironically also a 3rd season of the show, but this one is slasher.
Yeah, we've touched on this. I asked you, have you seen it? No. You asked me, and I said, like the first episode, they kind of like show the killer too much and all that stuff. So like, well, yeah, they I don't know. I didn't like the fact that they were like kind of, I don't know, like too much backstory right off the bat, and I just really didn't. And I just watched the first episode, and honestly, I don't even remember it because it wasn't even. I didn't even pull my cell phone out. I wasn't distracted.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed kind of meh.
Kind of meh.
Kind of meh.
Yeah. So,
but like the premise for this one sounds good. Like a bunch of like former camp counselors going back to like the campground.
Mm-hmm.
They did some fucked up shit when they were younger, and now they're gonna go like try to get the evidence or whatever. So now there's like hippies or whatever over there, and like they're doing their little spiritual thing, and like someone's like killing them off one by one. So that's like the premise for like the 3rd season. So I don't know. I really wasn't into the 1st or 2nd season. I mean, I could get into it just because it is a slasher, and slasher films have kind of died out, and it's been kind of quiet up until The Strangers, and then now Michael Myers coming out. So I don't know. Hopefully I can get started on this series and actually get through it, even if I can't stand like the first episode. Like I just never really gave it a second chance.
Yeah,
so.
just of the season 1, right? Because I actually heard a lot of people say that season 2 was a lot better than season 1. So I think I might just skip season 1 entirely and just watch season 2 of the show.
I don't know. I'm afraid of doing stuff like that. I don't
like it either. But they're completely different stories. Apparently.
Oh really?
It's like American Horror Story basically. So there's no continuous plot line between seasons, so you can watch whatever you want.
I used to be into American Horror Story, and then as soon as after Asylum, and then like Emma Roberts with the witches, and then she gets raped on the first episode by like some douchebag jocks, and then she kills them because she's a witch. Like I'm not comfortable with that shit, so. That's what, like, after that, I didn't watch any more American Horror Story. Yeah. I just don't like that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely take it to the extreme sometimes with some of the content, but, so I hear you. I'm just not, like, a huge fan of the show in general. I kind of liked the Alien season, but that was about it. Everything else seemed too much like style over substance for me, and, just, like, fan service and shit with some of the actors and stuff, and so I wasn't really feeling it that much.
Yeah, there were too many, like... I didn't like the fanboys and the fangirls of AHS. Like, they all, like... like that. I don't know the weirdo kid that's in all the American Horror
Yeah,
Stories.
oh
like,
my God,
people
I
are
hate
like
it.
such fangirl.
Like, oh my God, put your babies in me. Like, no, is this really why people watch the show? I don't want to.
I don't know.
see that
Like
shit.
to me, like he's a good actor and all. Like, and I'm not gonna. He's a good
Sure,
actor,
yeah.
but like he looks like a serial killer. Let's be
Yeah.
real. Like that's if you ever picture
Like
a
he and
serial-
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, him. Yeah, Bill's a fucking freak. I love that guy.
Like they could just be like a serial killer duo in
Yeah.
real life. They probably are.
At the end, they just fucking kill each other.
Yeah, right. Some kind of weird suicide pact or something.
Right? They just have like a
Uh-huh.
two like a double-edged spear, and they both just run into it. This way we both win.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know, but the show as like a concept overall seems cool, so I'm willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a shot tonight.
Yeah. But season 3 is coming out, and it's supposed to be set in a remote Canadian wilderness. So already I kind of like the setting. So I might have to wait and see, like, when there's a trailer or something, if I'm really interested. But I know a lot of people like the show. So, yeah, season 3 coming out hopefully pretty soon. They just began production on it, so be on the lookout for that one. We're going to go through real quick a few new trailers, and then we're going to get into our next segment. The first trailer is about Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween. So
I love the first one. I saw the
I
first
like
one
it,
in
yeah.
theaters with Jack Black. He's R.L. Stein, and his daughter's not real or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Like, that was just fucking weird.
I liked it, honestly. Like, I didn't mind Jack Black as R.L. Stein. It was a fun movie, and that's like obviously what it was intended to be. And it was for the kids. I mean, the show was also for kids. It was a little more fucked up, but I think that's just because the 90s were like more fucked up, in like the early 2000s, like in general,
Yeah.
content wise.
That's when shit. It was like the norm for horrible shit to happen. And
Yeah.
people were just like, yeah, it's a fucked up world.
Yeah, but I mean, this one with all the CGI and stuff, it's obviously meant to just be entertaining. And I mean, the part, Goosebumps 2 is the same way, so I'm pretty pumped for it. And I mean, I love the books and everything, obviously. So.
Yeah, man. I my favorite one was it was a Goosebumps one,
Mhm.
and on the front there was like this orange monster, and it was a choose your own adventure book.
Oh, I love those.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Goosebumps choose your own adventures
I
were
love
the
those.
best. So like you're going trick or treating, and then all of a sudden you go through this door and this monster kills your friend, and it's
Yeah.
the end. So you got to start at the beginning.
Oh, dude, those were the best.
Man,
yeah.
I don't know. Like R.L. Stein is like one of my like you said, one of the main reasons I got into horror. Other than just catching glimpses of horror on TV.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm like, fuck, turn the channel.
Yeah.
But I think R.L. Stein's what really expanded my imagination.
Oh,
for
yeah,
like
for
the
sure.
really fucked up shit. Like the first R.L. Stein thing I ever read was The Babysitter,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
where her boyfriend was the killer.
Mhm.
That was the first, and like
Nice.
my imagination was like so vivid when I was reading this, and like that was the thing with R.L. Stein. Like it wasn't like his writing wasn't super simplistic, but it was to the point where anyone from K through 12
Yeah.
could get it, and it was very interesting because
Yeah.
there's really no asinine books. Maybe besides Night of the Living Dummy,
Yeah.
because Chucky's existed beforehand, but I don't know. Like I'm a huge fan, and like this comes out October 12th, so
Mhm. Yeah, I want to go see it.
we're definitely gonna see
yeah,
this
oh,
one.
yeah.
Besides, we could talk about this like a week before we talk about Halloween, since it's coming
Yeah,
out a week
sure.
before, and then leading up to Halloween. Da-na-na.
Yeah, I think it's great because I mean the whole of Goosebumps really like exemplifies the Halloween mood in general. Like,
It really does that.
Yeah.
That 90s nostalgia. Like,
oh yeah,
you know me, I'm the 80s 90s nerd. So like,
yeah, dude. Like, early 2000s and shit. Like late 90s. Like, definitely around fall time, I would just binge watch
Oh my
Goosebumps like
God.
all the time and read the books.
I would start my Halloween months ahead of time.
Yeah,
Once it got super hot outside, like during like with those 90 to 100 degree
Mhm.
days back in the day, I would just sit in my room in the dark watching horror.
yeah,
Anything I could get my hands on, bro. Like,
yeah, dude. It's great.
Nothing changed. You could reel me in, give me anything 90s, put it up in the theater, be like, yo,
Yeah.
Goosebumps, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
I'm going. I don't care if I'm in my mid-20s.
No, I don't give a shit. I mean, I just love the series in general, and I don't mind the direction they're taking it in. Like they want to appeal to an audience, obviously, a younger audience, and that's cool because like they're still releasing the books and stuff, and I think they're targeted more toward like young children too, but in a more like fun way, not like people are actually gonna have nightmares or anything like that. But
Yeah.
because like honestly, dude, like when I was reading the book, some of them probably did give me nightmares, like the Haunted Mask.
Yeah, that one was.
Yeah, like that one was crazy.
I remember watching the. They had a fucking the TV show with the Haunted Mask. I really liked those episodes.
Yeah, remember that episode where the dad got like he turned himself into a plant monster or whatever?
Yes,
that one was great.
The one don't look in the basement, I think.
Yeah.
It was. That was like the second R.L. Stine book I ever read. I remember I got it from the library right around the corner.
That may have been my first one there. I'm not sure what my first one was, but that one was great. I love that one.
Because I know R.L. Stine made just regular, but like it'll be R.L. Stine, the babysitter. So I read those before I read Goosebumps. You know, I found out about those, and then I saw Goosebumps, and then like my teachers were telling me, "Oh, why are you getting Goosebumps? Those are for like younger kids. Get the regular R.L. Stine novels," and those gave me fucking nightmares.
Yeah, dude. He was a good writer, but
I might just download like a whole bunch of R.L. Stine audiobooks.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I definitely miss it, but we got to move on now to our next trailer, and this one is it's not quite Halloween related. It's more Christmas related, but it's cool.
Before we even start, I saw something on Hulu that I did not like. And it was Mrs. Krampus or Grandma Krampus or Mama Krampus. They had like something. That's what the first thing I thought when I saw this. Mrs. Claus is our second trailer.
Yeah.
And you know, that's all. You know.
Well, here's the thing. The trailer actually looked kind of cool, and the Mrs. Claus mask. I don't know. I think it's got an appeal to it as like a slasher kind of.
It seems super. Seems super like 80s-ish, like some Silent Night, Deadly Night shit. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it looks kind of cool. Basically, the movie is about a group of college kids, of course, attending a Christmas party at a sorority house with like a weird past, and they're stalked by a bloodthirsty killer disguised as Mrs. Claus. So, and the poster looks kind of cool. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be a pretty shitty movie. But I just kind of like the look of the killer, and I mean it's a slasher movie, you know, it's a new slasher movie. So
these college slashers, these high school slashers, teen slashers, I think they're all good. I think people are like way too fucking jaded because like this shit is possible, okay? None of this shit's like impossible. So what? Like no character development. Why develop these minor characters if they're just gonna be fucking swatted to the side and get their throat cut anyways, you know? So I don't know. Like I think nowadays there's too much character development, too much backstory. We just need we're at this college, there's some crazy motherfucker around the corner, and shit's about to go down because anything can happen and anything will happen. Yeah.
I like them a lot. I mean, they exist for a reason, and people seem to forget that sometimes. But Mrs. Claus is coming out November 13th. Go check out the trailer, see if it interests you. I know it's been going through a lot of the horror like Facebook pages and stuff like that, so that's kind of why I wanted to bring it up. The next trailer is about a movie called Hold the Dark, and this one's getting a little bit of buzz. It's a Netflix original from the director of Green Room, and it looks, I don't know, I think it looks kind of cool. Jeffrey Wright, Alexander Skarsgård are in it, and it's concerning a wolf expert hired to investigate a child's disappearance.
You know, if there's a Skarsgård, and it's gonna be some creepy fucking shit.
This is the Skarsgård from True Blood that played Eric Northman, I think his name was, the vampire. People like him. I think he's a good actor, so I'm pretty excited about it. Honestly, it's probably gonna be more of like a thriller sort of, but I saw Green Room and I really liked it, and it was pretty brutal, honestly. So I think that it had some horror elements like that.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's good. It's actually the last movie that the guy from Odd Thomas, Anton Yelchin, that was the last movie I think that he was in before he died. So, but it was good. So I like this guy as a director. Hopefully this movie's good. It's gonna come out on Netflix. September 28th, so be on the lookout for that one. Right now, though, we're going to move into our very first segment of the episode, The Cult Corner. And this week's Cult Corner, we wanted to make it sort of related to our main segment, which is our review of Slender Man. So the movie today is going to be a true cult classic, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes, and honestly, one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Not one of my favorite series of all time, but just the first Nightmare. was the thing of fucking nightmares when I was a kid.
Literally, I mean, this was probably one of the first horror movies that really drew me into horror, I think, because I watched it, pretty young, and I was like genuinely pretty terrified of Freddy Krueger, because in that movie, at least, he was genuinely terrifying.
In the first one, yeah. My mom used to tell me how she used to have nightmares that Freddy would be chasing her.
Oh damn! That's how you know it was good. Like when your parents watch it and they're scared.
I swear, this is one of I think this is one of the most successful slashers of all time. That can't be argued.
No,
like,
I don't think so.
This is objectively and honestly, I think the Slender Man kind of was inspired by Freddy. I'm not gonna lie.
They have similar themes.
A lot of Slender Man's his evilness, and the stuff he does is kind of similar to a demon named Adramelech or the demon Moloch. It's kind of similar to him, but the whole child abduction thing, Hollywood wise, I think Freddy was the first to go after kids. Usually it was very taboo to have a child die.
Yeah, for sure.
Up until obviously Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Yeah, the 80s didn't really give a shit.
Yeah, we talked about this today, and Nightmares was one of these first movies where they're just yo, these teens are gonna get it, but it's gonna be from an entity that only wants these kids.
Yeah,
and he had I liked Freddy because he was shrouded in mystery. The first half of the film, they start to slowly unravel who he is. Nancy's mom starts telling her, "Oh, Fred was yeah." She's alcoholic, so she talks like that. She's always tired. She's like, "I'm just so sick of all the alcohol. Stop drinking alcohol."
Right.
But yeah, that was the whole movie. One of the best scores in horror ever. Dun, dun, dun,
I love the score so much, and the nursery rhyme or whatever.
Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah. I mean, even Scary Terry, Yeah,
I know.
This spawned Scary Terry from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah. Hey, bitch. Yeah, dude. I mean, Freddy is just so iconic because, he has these powers, which I thought were really cool, and this whole psychological manipulation, I think, is one of the things that Slender Man definitely, took as inspiration from Freddy Krueger. So, and there were a bunch of other things. I mean, the shape shifting and seeing him when you think you're safe and when you don't think you're going to see him, that kind of stuff, and how he influences you the more you see him in your dreams until he finally kills you.
Exactly. I think it's super identical to Slender Man. I don't think people realize that. I think Slender Man was just, I don't know, I don't think it was as well thought out as Freddy.
No, not really. I mean, Slender Man,
just internet lore and bullshit.
Yeah, but I wanted to talk about that because that's why I think they're similar kind of too, because in the movie Freddy basically started out as kind of an urban legend until kids started dying and shit like that, and he was still kind of treated as an urban legend throughout the film too. People couldn't believe that Freddy Krueger as this entity really existed and shit like that until they finally they found out. And Slender Man kind of started the same way, but he was creepypasta, so it wasn't just campfire stories about Slender Man. It was very social media driven.
Exactly.
And that's why it's creepypasta, because people would just post these little snippets, and it all started on this forum called Something Awful, which is the title of this episode. And it's just little snippets of the story, but they were done in a way that made it seem like it was real.
Yeah.
But it was just written that way, somebody would be like, "Oh, this actually happened to me," or "I know about this thing."
Exactly. And both of these both Slender Man and Freddy happened in these small towns. It never happened in a giant city.
Yeah.
It's always a tiny little neighborhood, everything's fine. What could happen? It's safe. It's the neighborhood.
Because those are the kind of towns that urban legends and shit like that not only originate from, but spread through more so, because there's less people, it's isolated, and so there's more of a chance that people might believe in the supernatural or whatever. So yeah, that makes complete sense to me. There's not a huge police force or something if something weird happens and shit like that. So, and it's always a tragedy. So I mean, yeah, there's definitely a lot of inspiration, But I mean, yeah, let's talk about, just like the movie itself. I mean, so iconic. Wes Craven is a genius.
Yeah, he really is. I don't know how he came up with Freddy, or
Yeah, I don't know
what the hell Freddy's even based on. I think it was probably just random an idea.
Yeah.
I'm not too like knowledgeable on like. I never watched a Freddy Krueger movie documentary. You feel me? So like.
Yeah, I haven't either. I know there's one out there which is called Never Sleep Again, which I've been meaning to watch, but yeah, I mean, I'm not like super well versed on like the history of Freddy. I imagine he was just like, hey, what about a burn victim in a sweater?
Yeah.
Oh, can it have green and red stripes?
Only if he has knife hands.
Right. Like, oh man,
only
Wes.
one knife hand,
You're a
Wes.
genius.
One knife hand. All right. He has one hand, 4 knives. Why not 5? Why would his thumb need a knife? To jam it into people? No.
Yeah, what if he's trying to close his hand
Right.
and he just stabs himself?
Right? What if he wants to open a door? What's he going to do?
Right, he's gonna fuck up.
Yeah, man. I think Heather Langenkamp, like, this was like the first ever, like, movie I've ever seen her in. And,
Yeah.
John Saxon did really good. Johnny Depp was in here, the infamous pulled into the bed. And then
Dude.
See, that's what I hated about the remake, is that they did not include that part.
Yeah, I mean, and let's be honest. Like the original part of that, like that scene in the original 1984 film, is probably like the greatest practical effects display in horror.
And
I just think it's so effective.
And the fact, like, I like the score while Johnny Depp was getting sucked into the, like, the.
It was the whole scene was just done so well.
But when Nancy said all those like Home Alone style traps for Freddy, that was great too.
Yeah, I agree. It was super cheesy, super 80s.
When he walked through the door and that sledgehammer came down on his stomach, he was like,
That was great.
That was great.
How else are you supposed to fight this fucking thing? Like, it's not like you have a rocket launcher just laying around in the house or something.
He was super like serious in this film. Like, he would joke around.
Yeah, that's what I liked.
He'd be like, "This is God," but like.
Yeah, but it was creepy still, Like, it wasn't intentionally, just funny like the other movies, like 3 and 4 and shit.
Yeah, 2, he was still creepy.
Yeah.
3, he was more funnier because he had... Like, he was less angry in the first one. Like, he was mad as fuck. He was like... when he was, like, chasing after Nancy. And
but then you had, like, welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay, Freddy. It was funny.
Then they had the fucking Dream Child. I've never watched that one.
Yeah.
And then they had No, I did watch that one. It was bad. And they had another one after that. What was it? Do you remember?
Fuck, I don't remember.
I gotta get into Freddy movies.
Yeah, I've watched them all, but it's been a while since I've watched them all. Like, usually I just watch either part 1 or part 3. Or New Nightmare.
I've seen Freddy's Dead, where he has a daughter and she kills him in like in the jail cell or whatever the fuck happens. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, but let's talk about New Nightmare. I mean, we could talk about the other movies, but I don't remember them as well. I just know that they went like off the rails. Until New Nightmare came out.
It was kind of really, really bumpy. I think they were just hoping. They were just throwing out movies hoping for a hit. But like, after 1, it was just 2 was.
2 was okay. 3 was good.
3 was good, and then like then the Dream Child, and then the Dream. What was after the Dream Warriors?
Wasn't it Dream Child?
Yeah, and there was another one after that, and
I don't remember what it's called.
And then was Freddy's Dead,
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called. That part 5 is like not. It's probably like the worst one. So I don't remember exactly.
And I still remember waiting. Everyone used to talk about, what if Freddy fought Jason, and then. It finally came out in, like, 2003 when we were in, like, 5th fucking grade.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know, man. I think it did great, Like, it was everything everyone expected. But Jason he took a lot of damage in that fucking movie. Like,
yeah, he really did. But, I mean, by that time, Freddy Krueger was such an iconic character, and the release of New Nightmare, I think, definitely cemented him. I thought it was a great movie. It really brought Freddy back to, like, that creepy... killer factor.
Yeah, really,
because it kind of moved away from the whole like comedy aspect, and he was still kind of funny, like he had some puns or whatever. But dude, when he fucking turned into that giant fucking worm thing, and like when he was on the ceiling in the hospital after just killing that one chick or
at
whatever,
the end, when he was on the fishing pier, when she pulled Freddy, like, I don't know what happened, but Freddy got mad at that blonde chick from Freddy vs. Jason. He was like, "You," and he was like all red and shit, and he looked scary.
Oh,
as
yeah,
fuck.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. That was cool.
Dope.
It was like more demonic.
Yeah, I think if they made Freddy more demonic, it would be cool rather than just some fucking crazy fucking burn guy.
Yeah. And I'm actually looking at it. Part 4 was the Dream Master, and then it was the Dream Child, and then Freddy's dead.
Yeah, I watched the Dream Master a little bit. I think what's his name? Kincaid, the buff black dude.
Yeah, he was in it.
Yeah, he was in 3 and 4. I think he died in 4 though.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not 100%. Yeah, I believe so. Because I don't really remember that much what happened in Part 5.
Yeah, that's the one. I never watched the Dream Child, but then I guess the Dream Child was the one that kills him and Freddy's dead. So
yeah,
I'm not too sure.
It got really weird. Like, not only were the comedic parts just like
just very cheesy.
Yeah, but even like the more serious parts were kind of weird, like writing wise. But anyway, I mean, we don't have to talk about the entire series. That could be for like another day. But I mean, Part 1 is super iconic. But
I just wanted to relate like the differences, how like so it went from being super super scary to just this comedy fest, like
yeah.
And as we all know, like no Nightmare on Elm Street, not even Freddy versus Jason, will outdo the original Nightmare. It just had that atmosphere. Like everything always felt surreal. You're like, yo, is she dreaming now? Is she not? Like, why is the street so empty? Why is the school empty?
Yeah.
And the visions of her dead friends and stuff.
You remember that I don't know. I think it was an alley. That scene where he comes down the alley, he's just like a silhouette, and his arms are like, disproportionate, like stretched out and shit.
Before he kills Tina, yeah. And she's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "This is God."
That was a fucking great scene. Because
that really was.
Him just walking down, scraping the walls with his elongated arms, like weird disturbing. Arms. Yeah, it was.
That's
very
some Slender Man shit. See,
it kind of was. Yeah,
instead of tentacles, like the long. I'm telling you, man. Like,
yeah. There's definitely like some relation. So actually, I think that's a pretty good segue into our main review of the Slender Man movie. But I just want to leave off with Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, I think is still definitely one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Same.
I've watched it a ton. It was one of the first movies that really got me into horror, I feel like, and it's just very iconic. It's always going to hold up because not only does it have that nostalgia, it has a really great and actually scary villain in it, and a lot of pretty disturbing scenes, like the one in the school with the girl in that like body bag, that see-through body bag, and she's just covered in blood. Like that kind of stuff is great, and that's what's kind of missing from a lot of movies.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what was missing from the rest of the Freddy movies, and from movies today, like the psychological horror now is like people just going crazy. Back then it was like actual entities fucking with you. Like Freddy's making you see this, but before it's like, but now it's like he's going crazy, or is he? Like, but before, back then you knew, like, Freddy's just... I think movies try too hard now.
Yeah, I mean, so, let's talk about Slender Man, because, this is a movie that's supposed to be about this entity that has a psychological effect on the people that it's trying to, like, entice or capture, or whatever the fuck it does with them, right? Mostly kids, because they're a little more vulnerable, I assume. But I mean, it tried to do a lot of these psychological things, and honestly, failed. To me, it just fell like way short of it. The only scene really that I even kind of liked was the scene in the hospital when she was like seeing all this crazy shit. That was kind of okay. It wasn't like disturbing or anything. It was mildly creepy. But that was really it. I could kind of get and understand like the slowly creeping like insanity of the characters, because if that was happening to me, I'd probably be freaking out too, you know. But
just the way, honestly, I wouldn't be freaking out because of the movie's like delivery with all the things. Like, I thought don't get me, the atmosphere was good. I like that's what the atmosphere and the score was pretty good.
It was okay.
Those are pretty good, but the cinematography at times was just so like erratic.
Yeah.
Like it would be like sometimes it would be like a hectic fucking panning movement, like and then sometimes it would just be like a fucking. They would just have one shot for like an extended period of time that it was just like a weird shot. It would be like from the side of someone's face, and they'd be like just tripping out, and like I didn't like that. I need some happenings. I don't.
Yeah.
And the fucking. They summoned Slender Man through a fucking computer, okay?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense just because he's like, an internet-driven urban legend or whatever, creepypasta shit.
I don't know. That doesn't mean you have to summon him through the internet.
I mean, yeah.
I guess it's a metaphor, but it was done so badly, and like I did not give a fuck about none of these kids. When the first when the first chick went missing, I was like, wait, who the fuck was that? I don't even remember her face, her name. Like they were just like, she's here. Oh no, she's gone. No more. Bye bye.
Yeah,
like,
and then she was basically like the driving force of the movie, and she didn't do anything. I mean, that's how it is sometimes. You know, like a kid goes missing, and then that kind of drives the story. So you know, I guess I kind of get that, but I just if I cared about what was happening, it would be much more impactful. But I didn't really care about what was happening. I didn't give a shit about any of these characters. I thought the acting honestly was bad. Especially the main girl, dude.
Yeah, I just didn't like it. Like the shit they said at times was like really cliche. I think the movie was like just way too cliche for me.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that. I think they picked like the worst actress out of all of them to be the lead character. I know they're like teenagers or whatever, but I mean, with the movie that we were just talking about, Nightmare on Elm Street, we could see that like, you know, teenagers to like young adult actors and actresses can actually act, you know, and these
like
these girls were like not that great, honestly.
I mean, even the guys were just
Yeah, I mean all of the actors pretty much in this movie were just not really that great.
What else? I think the pacing of the film was like
Bad.
bad. Like the pace just seemed like yo, is something gonna like it happens like sometimes it's good when something happens when you don't expect it. But like out of like the whole library scene, I think that I don't want to spoil anything, but I think that was fucking stupid.
Yeah, I didn't really like that at all. It seemed like it might have some potential, but the camera work was like too shitty.
Yeah, I really did not fuck with the camera work at all.
It just didn't feel like tense enough to me, because in an actual situation like that, I could see how it would be scary, kind of, you know, but. I don't know. Yeah, it just wasn't like done as efficiently as I thought.
You know, normally when I'm in a movie theater, it's dark, the loud banging sounds, you know, loud score, jump scares. Like I think this movie's cinematography for me ruined a lot of the suspense, and it tried to like, I don't know, like the pacing, cinematography, like together those two were just like bad at times. Like weird shit. Like we'd cut to another scene, and like the people would just be walking into a room. And then like they would start talking about like we just picked up right where the kids just started talking about this, and it's like, you know, like I just didn't like how like it didn't seem personal enough. I did not care about these kids. Like I said, like I can't get over the camera work of this movie. It was just so fucking horrible. Like I don't usually I like these kind of movies, like like these urban legend movies where kids are like summer investigations. You know, like in the summertime you'd go ghost hunting, whatever the fuck kids do.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. But this was not that. I think this was a big miss, and I think it felt like they rushed to put this movie together.
Yeah,
like it did not have a deep plot at all.
No, you know what I kind of wish. Because this movie was no It, you know. I didn't care about these kids. They weren't that interesting. I wish that there was more of like a community aspect almost to like the investigation, or like the police or something, like something wider to
I
really
thought it
like,
was gonna be like the whole city's like, yo, what's going on? But no,
to like really make us like believe in like what's happening, or like be fascinated by this big mystery, you know. But it really wasn't. It was just a bunch of like kids just like crying for the whole movie, you know, and complaining and shit, and then doing dumb stuff, which that's all they did. They were just idiots. And
usually these kind of movies have morals. And this movie's morals seem to be much like The Descent. Don't go into caves.
Yeah.
This one's don't summon Slender Man through your computer.
Don't go onto like weird websites, basically. You know.
Yeah,
don't go into that like weird deep web shit.
Same premise as the dark web, the unfriended shit.
Yeah, kind of.
So, what else didn't I like about Slender Man? Oh, I like the killer guys. I like how Slender Man looked.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say we should talk about actual Slender Man.
I like that they kept it canon. You know, they didn't. Like the whole tentacles and like the. I just. They kept to the lore. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't diverge too much.
Some people were saying that they didn't like it because there were some differences to like the lore and stuff, but you know, I don't know, because they made Slender Man more of like this actual threat. Like he was very aggressive, and he would actually attack them, and you could see that he was actually attacking them. I kind of wish that they made it more subtle, like stuff happened off screen. Yeah,
like he was a seducer.
He was more psychological.
I
and
wish it
stuff
was
happen off
too,
screen,
instead
yeah.
of just like some Midnight Man shit.
Yeah.
Like honestly, if you have you ever seen Marble Hornets Always Watching?
No, I haven't.
That is a far superior Slender Man movie because I don't think they even mention him by like, oh, Slender Man.
Like he's more of an actual urban legend.
Yeah, like it's like it's like a myth, you know, like it's
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to
It's
be.
like, yo, there's this guy, like there wasn't a name for it, you know, there's this guy in the fucking, like no one knows what's going, and that did it right. If you ever watched Always Watching,
Yeah.
that was a fucking amazing Slender Man,
Okay.
like my favorite. But this was just, I don't know, man, this was a miss. Like I thought it was gonna be if you've ever played Slender: The Arrival, have you started that yet?
Yeah, I did kind of start it. Yeah, it's creepy.
I beat it, but then now again I got halfway through it, and like honestly, that game is so fucking scary, so much more scary even than this fucking shitstorm of a movie. There,
Yeah.
all right, now you guys know. Now I know what I think
Yeah,
of this movie. Oh, I let it sink in for a week, and it was very forgettable.
yeah.
It doesn't have like I'm not. This is not a movie I'm gonna be turning on to watch during Halloween. This is probably gonna be.
never.
This is probably gonna be a movie I'm not gonna watch till in a month and a half. It comes on Netflix. You know.
Yeah, honestly, I think that
And I think they know it was bad because I don't think, honestly, I don't think this should get like a big DVD release. I'm
No.
sorry, but 11% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty hyped up though, and you know, it just definitely fell short. Yeah, I did like the Slender Man, like look wise and stuff like that. I mean, it was Javier Botet, who's phenomenal, but I mean,
Is that the weirdo from Insidious?
No, he's the dude who played Mama, the tall, lanky guy who's all the like the monsters and stuff like that.
Yeah, but wasn't he the monster in Insidious?
I don't think so. Maybe I could be wrong.
I think he was.
Yeah, I don't know with 100%
The
certainty.
lipstick demon, remember?
Yeah, possibly.
I think so, but
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know,
honestly,
but-
the killer was dope. The story was very
Yeah.
like poor. It sounded like some shit a teenager wrote.
yeah,
honestly.
I think just the way that they used Slender Man was wrong. Like he wasn't as like, you know, in the background, creepy, like, you know, actually influencing stuff enough. He was more of like a monster, which was kind of meh.
You know, and as if it wasn't bad enough, this is another one. I don't want to give us spoiler alert. This is another one of those no hope movies.
Yeah,
And at the end, Slender Man turns a girl into a tree.
Yeah,
So
That's
yeah,
fucking
I'm
weird.
not even joking. He turns a girl into a fucking tree.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Well, I think it's supposed to, like, you know, tell us like, oh, this is what actually happens to the kids, but
Yeah, now
it's
they're
kind of
trees.
stupid. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I gave this movie a pretty generous 4 out of 10 as my like final review score, but it's pretty bad. If you're looking for like a theater movie to go see, then I would skip this one, honestly,
Yeah,
and just check it out on VOD or something.
I'll give it 1 point for atmosphere,
Yeah,
1 point for the Slender Man. I'll give it half a point for somewhat keeping up with the mythos,
yeah.
and I'll give it another half point just because of the score. So
Okay.
it'll be like a 3 out of 10 for me, man.
That's probably pretty fair. Yeah, it was kind of generous.
30%. I don't know. We talk to
Yeah.
people on these Facebook groups, like these horror fans, and like,
Yeah,
no offense, but a lot of them are fucking stupid. Like,
yeah, they are.
this movie was good. Like,
It really, no, it wasn't.
a lot of them were saying it was a shitstorm, but then you got like the 5 or 6 people. And trust me, I always give movies the benefit of the doubt. You guys heard I said Final Exam was, I liked it. And
Yeah.
I don't like Slender Man.
Yeah.
So what the fuck does that say about Slender Man?
Oh, yeah. I think that's pretty much all we have to say about Slender Man. Go check it out if you really want to see something. If you've seen like every horror movie that's out right now, but
I wasn't scared.
Don't really recommend it.
I wasn't
No,
scared at all.
definitely not.
And I was I'm always scared when I'm in like a situation. I'm like always
Yeah.
suspended. Like when I watched Insidious, I was fucking terrified.
Mhm.
When I watched The Conjuring, I was scared. I was watching It. It was funny for the most part. I really enjoyed like the
Yeah.
the neighborhood kids.
But when Pennywise actually got like scary, it was pretty scary.
Yeah, but this did not.
No.
Even the jump scares weren't good.
I don't think it should have had jump scares at all. It was
It
stupid.
should have been more atmospheric, but
Yeah.
you'd see them coming a mile away. There's nothing mysterious
Yeah.
about this.
It was very predictable. There was no suspense.
Everything that this movie was gonna do, you already knew like 5 minutes beforehand.
Yeah.
They're like, if we go in, we gotta offer a sacrifice to the
Yeah.
Slender Man. Where the fuck does it say that?
Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. I was pretty disappointed in it, but
I was, because we were talking about this for months now.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure in one of our first few episodes, this was
We
one
saw
of-
the trailer.
Yeah, this was one of our terrifying trailers.
Yeah. Well, let's leave it at that. if you're like a huge Slender Man fan, maybe go see it. But we're gonna move on.
Miss this movie, do not watch it.
Yeah,
Do not watch
agree.
it till you get it on Hulu or fucking Netflix.
I agree. We're gonna move on now to our last segment of the day, where we're gonna be talking about another possibly controversial film in this week's installment of The Chopping Block. And this week's Chopping Block is featuring a new movie released on Netflix called Emelie.
I saw it as soon as it came out and on Netflix, and as soon as I saw it pop up, I was like, a babysitter movie.
Yeah.
I wonder if the babysitter is the bad person. Like honestly, the past 3 babysitter movies I've seen on Netflix, the babysitter was the evil one.
Yeah.
No, actually,
The Babysitter, the movie.
the babysitter, Emelie, spoiler alert, she's evil. And but then there was that other movie where the babysitter was babysitting these kids, and the kids turned on her. So
Oh, yeah, I think you might have told me about that one. But I just recently watched it, and I thought it was pretty effective. I was getting kind of frustrated just with like how the movie was progressing and like her actions and stuff, and then
I thought it was like the weird, like when she when she got the kid to like feed the gerbil to the snake. I was like, what's going on? And then like she made like the kids watch like a porno of their dad.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and like the way they did it too, like the pacing was done weird, but it was done good because you're
Yeah,
like,
I
yo, this
agree.
is fucking disturbing.
Yeah. You know what I liked was like how they like sparsely like interjected those scenes of like the parents out at the dinner.
Yeah.
I actually kind of really liked that. Obviously it was done for a reason to
Like
kind of
that dude that was over there.
yeah, to kind of make you like feel, I don't know, I think it was supposed to kind of make you, well, even without the dude there, I think just like showing their date or whatever was supposed to kind of make you feel anxious, like it's anxiety actually, because you know it's one of those scenarios where like if you're a kid and something crazy is happening,
You're pretty much
you
powerless.
want your parents, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
'cause
who
you're
you go to.
Because you're pretty much powerless.
Yeah.
And you see this weirdo dude watching his parents, so you're like, yo, what the fuck's going on at the house?
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know, Emelie seemed weird. She seemed kind of, like, pedophile-ish, too. Like,
Yeah, she was an oddball for sure, you know, a psychopathic oddball. I thought her character was kind of interesting. I mean, the like motive behind her character was not anything particularly new. Actually, spoiler alert, it kind of reminded me of that movie Inside that I
Yeah.
may have mentioned a few times, just in like her motive and stuff, which I thought was interesting. It's not like something that's been done extensively, so I think that kind of added a cool element, but I kind of figured it was something like that. I was actually kind of hoping that it was going to be something more like supernatural, I guess, but it was kind of rooted more like in reality.
that's why I liked it.
She was just fucked up.
I thought it was going to be some cultish shit like The Babysitter,
Yeah, it wasn't.
but spoiler alert, Emelie had a child that she killed because she slept on him, and then now she's trying to kidnap a little boy and make it her child.
Yeah.
She took a lot of damage in this fucking movie.
She really did.
She got
though.
fucked up.
Up at the end, yeah. Like the kid, I actually liked the kid, like the main kid.
I like him a lot.
He was cool. Yeah.
I just kind of didn't like it that he let the gerbil get fed to the snake.
Yeah, because you know he kind of came off at the beginning as like this snotty kid, and then once he realized that something weird was happening and it might put his siblings in danger, he actually manned up and was like, "All right, no, fuck this. I'm defending like my family and stuff." So I actually thought he had good character development, and I thought that the Emelie character was written, you know, pretty well. So there was some decent writing in this movie, which I appreciated. For like a Netflix, well, it wasn't a Netflix movie, I don't think, but you know, I thought it had good writing. The camera work was like average. I wasn't like like thrilled by it, but I also like didn't hate it.
Yeah,
it was just normal.
Yeah, it wasn't like it didn't really build suspense. Maybe the closer shots with when the score would kind of get erratic, but
I mean,
other than that, the main focus isn't even like you don't even notice the cinematography. You're just so like into it. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
yeah, it's completely about just the
Mommy's
story.
looking for her cubby.
Yeah, right. It's completely about the story. It's, you know, mainly revolving around these fucking weird things that she's making these kids do. And yeah, overall, I mean, I thought it was like paced well. I thought it was suspenseful. It was pretty atmospheric. I don't remember that much about the score. Was the score anything like really special?
No, nothing special at all. Like only when like The only time like I noticed like the score was like when they're feeding the gerbil to the snake, or like the ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this
where Emily's just running away like
yeah.
like before that, like that was the only time I really noticed any sort of music. So
yeah, this movie was definitely like mainly driven by like the narrative and the suspense built by it, because I mean,
exactly.
like putting those scenes of the parents throughout the movie was good, because then like finally when shit starts hitting the fan, they leave, and then they're trying to like they figure out that their kids might be in danger, so they like rush back to the house. So I mean, I thought that was done well. I think it was structured well, like writing wise, and I think that's definitely like the high point of this movie. And there was like some shock value and stuff like that, but I thought it was interesting. I think if you're looking for like a pretty disturbing kind of movie, then this might be a decent one. I actually don't think it was as disturbing as some people are making it out to be, but it was definitely kind of fucked up,
Yeah, it was fucked up. It wasn't that bad because like she didn't really, like nothing really happened. Besides like the terrifying part is what she was trying to do,
Right,
like,
right.
But honestly, it's not a no hope movie. Karma hits Emelie and her accomplice very quickly near the end, out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that fucking car accident.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, that was intentional, I think.
But, yeah, but he
but yeah,
I don't think he tried to kill himself intentionally.
No, definitely not. So yeah, I mean, I think I know we spoiled some parts, but I think it's a movie worth checking out. So for me, it's safe from the chopping block. I think you should go check it out. I mean, it's one of the newer horror movies out that's actually pretty decent watch. So,
yeah, I agree. Go check it out. It's right on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, it's 2018, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing if you don't have Netflix.
Open it on fucking Comcast or
something.
Pay $8 a month. Don't. Yeah. $7.95. It's not even $8 whole. I
mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a movie nerd, so I'm sure you have it.
Oh yeah.
So go check out Emelie. It's not chopped this week, and I think that's mostly gonna wrap it up. As always, we have to give shout out to our network, Sports Radio Detroit, for hosting us. Thank you guys. You can go check them out at social media, at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just look up Sports Radio Detroit. And then we have social media as well.
Yes, make sure you even check out our new website, gravediscussions.net. You click on every episode, it'll take you to the SRD archives with all of our content.
Yes, and we have host bios for myself and Samael. We have a little about us. So there's some cool stuff on there, and you can contact us directly if you have any suggestions or questions as well. We will happily talk to you guys, of course. And then, there's some links there to our other social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can just search Grave Discussions for that. But with that, I think it's time to say goodbye until next week.
I am Samael, and we will see you next week on Grave Discussions. Bye, guys.
Bye.
This has been an SRD production.